It's another day and another episode of Young and Black in Britain. I'm CY, and with me on the couch today is someone who describes themselves as a socially conscious entrepreneur. My guest has developed a personal brand that puts them at the forefront of championing equality in its many facets, but specifically opening up opportunities to aspirational people from disadvantaged backgrounds. He is now the co-founder of the Great British Diversity Experiment, a director and ambassador of the Young Black Business Awards. He is none other than Tolu Farinto. Tolu, welcome to Young and Black in Britain. It was arduous to get you here today, but you're here and I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, it's a pleasure.
Cheers. I'm going to crack on straight into it. You describe yourself as a socially conscious entrepreneur. What exactly does that mean?
It started when I was about 20 years of age. I dropped out of university to my mum's dismay.
Can you imagine?
And,
Nigerian mum?
Yeah, Nigerian mum. And I figured that I wanted to do something. I'd studied politics for a long time, so I was passionate about helping young people and understanding the political system.
Right.
And it was interesting because I met my mentor, who's still my mentor now, at the time, and I sat down, we spoke, and I had this vision of what I wanted to create.
Okay.
And it was very, very charity centric.
Okay.
And he kind of said to me, he was like, whoa, stop. He goes, you're not, looking at you now, speaking to you, I don't think you're going to be best placed setting up a charity. I think you're a business person.
All right.
And for the first time, I kind of sat back and I thought to myself, yeah, I can see that. But the charitable aspect or the social driven purpose part of it was what I was passionate about. So I was kind of thinking how I collided or put those two worlds together, and that's how I became a socially conscious entrepreneur.
Okay, and how I don't want to ask how old you are. So, but how long ago was it that this started?
8 years ago, so I'm 28 years old.
Oh, okay, he said it. I didn't have to ask.
I'm all right about my age.
Okay.
Yeah, so it started 8 years ago, and it was just, how the two worlds of business, commercial business and philanthropy come together.
Okay.
And that's how I describe myself as socially conscious.
Now it makes a lot of sense. I hope it does to you guys, but it does make sense to me. And you also mentioned, you told me from conversations that you founded a recruitment consultancy / mentoring company called Limitless Future Achievements in 2011. Yeah. So what is that about? Does it still exist? What does it do?
No, it doesn't exist. I've kind of folded it. But essentially, it was one of the first vehicles I created because it was just almost like a raw representation of myself. I was 20 years of age. I was figuring out how I make my mark in the business world. Yeah. And I kind of started up as a platform, similar to, I'd say this actually, where I would sit down, interview kind of CEOs, managing directors, and track their journey and the challenges they'd faced over time. And I put it out to my network, which is literally my friends and family, and I got great response, but everybody was kind of saying, well, how do I access these people? How do I access these organizations? How do I access the opportunities within their companies? And that then sparked a thought to say, why not kind of use myself as the bridge to connect that talent or emerging talent over there with the companies that I've been speaking to.
Right. It doesn't matter how you start, it's just carry on, even if you fail, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's interesting because I'm in the middle of a couple of big projects at the moment, none I can really talk about, but when I first started those projects about a year and a half ago, I had a clear vision of how it was going to go, step by step. And somebody who's really, really senior within a global company said to me, the way these things normally run, you normally don't go from A, B, C, D, you normally go A, Z, F, A, X.
Never straight.
So yeah, definitely. I mean, I started in 2008 with Limitless Future Achievements. It's still kind of core to everything I do now, especially the Limitless part, never kind of confining yourself to the space you're born into. But yeah, everything's subject to change. It's just about your kind of drive, passion, and consistency.
Right. So from everything you've said, was there like a significant event while you were growing up that, you talked about your mentor, but was there anything in particular that sort of gotten you on the path that you're on now? Was there some moment, light bulb moment maybe, or whatever it was?
Well, I wouldn't say there was one light bulb moment. I'd say there was probably a few.
Okay.
So when I was younger, I was, fair to say, I was a naughty kid.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, I was a naughty kid, but it was interesting because I almost lived two lives. So I lived a life where I was at home. My dad wasn't really in the picture, but I had a great family unit around me, aunties and uncles, who poured mass amounts of love into me. And that world, I was like the almost the perfect kid.
Okay.
And then when I went outside of my front door, I was in this world of like surviving. And I remember I used to tell myself almost like a mantra, definite trauma. If anybody who's listening, definite trauma. But I used to tell myself never be a victim.
Okay.
And I refused to join gangs, but like because of the way that my family was orientated, it meant that I was almost affiliated. Mm-hmm. And I got into so much trouble that I ended up getting permanently excluded from school. And in that moment, I had a choice. And the choice was, luckily my head teacher allowed me to do my GCSEs, which kind of saved me. But my choice was stay in the environment which I was in or switch to a completely different environment and go to school a million miles away. And I sat down with my uncle and he was kind of saying, you can do better. Like I know you can do better. And at the time I was still like, yeah, whatever. But I kind of listened to him and thought to myself, well, if I really want to give myself the chance to succeed, I need to kind of change my environment and the people that I was around. So I did that. So I'd say that was probably a major turning point because I'm not sure what would have happened if I stayed in that same environment.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that was a turning point. I'd say also going to university was a turning point.
Okay.
Because it gave me it expanded my horizons. Okay. So, when you're in your social circles or your bubbles that you've grown up in, it can be very limiting, the experiences that you kind of acquire. And going to university gave me such a breadth of experiences that I realised I didn't really have to box myself into this caricature that I played out. So yeah, I'd say when I got permanently excluded and decided to go to a different school, and when I went to university and kind of expanded my horizons, those were two parts of my life. Yeah.
That is actually inspirational because I hear someone who doesn't stop at every roadblock or at any roadblock, and you just keep moving and doing that, and that is what we're trying to get out there to young black people in Britain, that there's a lot of challenge that we go through as black people sometimes, or even as young people in general, but don't stop, just keep moving, whatever, even if you have to crawl, just move. I know that you're an ambassador for Young Black Business Awards, right?
Young Black Business Awards, yeah.
I keep mixing it up with British because whatever. And I was at that was the first one in October.
November, yes.
Last year, yes. Yeah. Well, thank you for the invite. It was a great night. I had fun, ate lots of food, I must confess. Tell us a bit more about it and how other young black people can get involved.
So the Young Black Business Awards was co-founded by my mentor, Viva Moon and Donna Wilson. And when they came to me with it, they were saying, we want to start up an award. And I kind of rolled my eyes. I wasn't really quite sure about it.
Why though?
Because there's so many awards, and it's not that awards are a bad thing. It's just that there are a lot of awards. So we kind of sat down and we discussed how it would be unique. Okay. And Viv would describe himself as a futurist. I would describe myself as a semi-futurist. And we could identify that there were lots of changes happening across industries that nobody was really talking about. Yeah. And you might get sound bites of those changes when it comes to a robot that's moving like a lifelike like a human being, or AI technology that's being applied. Yeah. Well, maybe like Spotify's got some new algorithm that's working. You may hear about that, but really within the next 5 to 10 years, some jobs are going to be completely obsolete, and the courses that people are learning in university right now are going to be obsolete. So we were talking about, or thinking about, celebrating businesses that really tapping into the fourth industrial revolution and the Internet of Things. So how technology is shaping businesses, how entrepreneurs are using tech, apps, algorithms, all of that to kind of change industries. So that was our intent, and we went out to do that. And everybody was a little bit like, huh? What's the fourth industrial revolution? Because not a lot of people are familiar with the topic. And what it's really done is we've showcased a lot of young entrepreneurs who are doing some magnificent stuff within the space of the fourth industrial revolution, the application of tech and the Internet of Things. But more so, and what underpins the festival is we are launching incubators and accelerators with brands, organizations and partners to almost centralize the information needed to understand the fourth industrial revolution, how industries are going to change over the next 5 to 10 years, and give them the access. Because it's almost like, if you liken it to the age of the internet, when the internet came about, everyone's like, oh, what are we going to do with the internet? And then out comes Amazon, eBay, Google, and really it's about having the information to be able to innovate. And that's what we're trying to do with the YBBA, with the accelerators and incubators. It obviously shine a light on the talent that have already done the good work, but also centralize that information, make it as accessible as possible to the emerging talent that is within our communities.
Wow, that is interesting, really. So how do people get involved?
So, I mean, if you are an entrepreneur and you are applying tech to your business, or you're just an entrepreneur across the piece, you can apply or you can nominate yourself, at by emailing ybbawards.com.
So info@ybbawards.com.
Yeah.
Well, that info will be at the bottom of the of this video. So
and if I don't know my socials, maybe just hit me up. Yeah, I get a lot of people who message me and say, hey, I want to nominate myself, and I kind of just direct them into the right.
What's your quickest social? Which one can people get you on real quick?
Shameless plug, Instagram T_Farinto. That's me.
What is shameless about?
Well, get all those people like, follow me on Instagram.
Oh well. I mean, but for something like this, I'm sure people definitely want to get in touch with people who are entrepreneurs and stuff. So it's all right. So hit him up on Instagram. And connect yourself. So, but you did mention if you use tech in your business. What does that mean? Like, every business uses tech in some way or another.
I guess, because I kind of backtrack from that, because I guess you do, whether you have a website or you do use an element of tech. But there are some entrepreneurs who are using emerging technology quite well. I mean, we did an interview last year with, I've forgotten his name, the robotics guy.
Okay.
In Nigerian robotics guy, Adekunle. Yeah, we did an interview with him last year, just secured massive amounts of funding from Apple.
Okay.
And he's kind of made robotics, or he's created robotics which are games.
Okay.
It's like, but yeah, that's why. But I did step back and say, look, if you are an entrepreneur across the piece, we are celebrating entrepreneurs who don't have tech as an essential part of their business. But I guess it's critical for us to celebrate individuals who are using the Internet of Things at the heart of it. So if you do have a website and you're effectively using that, then great.
So nominations are open now?
Nominations are open now. You can nominate yourself by emailing info@ybbawards.com.
And till when? Because black people sometimes we like to wait till the day before. So let them know now, so they know when it's when it's closing down. Not specific day, but like month or whatever.
Yeah, nominations. I think my nominations close beginning of June.
Ah, okay. So you have a bit of time.
Yeah.
Okay, to put it together. Right. So before you go, I'd like to get a bit up close and personal. Let me adjust because I actually want to hear some of the things you're gonna say with you. So now these are quick fire questions.
Cool. Don't
think about it too much. Just answer it.
Goes against my natural instincts.
Okay. So just go with it. So what was the last song you listened to?
Coffee Toast.
Okay. I don't even know that song, but who's it by?
Buy coffee. Her name Koffee.
Okay.
Yeah, she's talented.
Oh, I see someone moving in the background. I think they like the song. Oh, I can see everyone here. Like, all right, then that person. So I think I'm the one who's missing something in life. Okay. And who is your black role model? Who inspires you?
There's different levels to this. Are you talking about every day, or are you talking about?
Yeah, who's that person that, maybe in the down moments you're like, when you listen to them, or when I don't want to, but who inspires you?
Do you know what?
Okay, so
I have to be honest.
range. Okay.
Well, I'll be honest, but I'm also semi-reluctant, but only semi-reluctant as a joke, because he is my mentor, but we have like a father-son relationship.
Okay, apart from Viv.
It has to be Viv. I'm gonna mention Viv. It has because he'll probably watch this. So Viv, yes, wherever you are, Viv.
So Viv, this is just to big you up, see. So maybe it's not even real. I'm just joking.
No, it's definitely Viv. I think when I met Viv, I was at a point in my life where I was super determined to try and create something, but and we describe it as the 80-20 split, not the 80-20 split where you have the normal 80-20 split, but it's unique to us, where we talk about, most young people in what we call disadvantaged communities have 80% of the attributes it takes to be successful.
Okay.
Right? They've got the drive. If you kind of train them well, they'll turn up on time. Well kept and driven. But the 20% is about unlocking the opportunities. So about the presentation. How do you sell a product? How do you pitch a product? How do you strategize around a product? Because it's not just enough to be driven. You have to kind of get the right expertise, resources together. And we always say, ask a question where the answer's not going to be, where the answer's going to be yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Viv.
Viv.
All right. My last question before you go is, I know it's an old movie, but did you watch Black Panther?
I do watch Black Panther. I did watch Black Panther.
You did.
Sorry.
I was going to be like, you do? Where's it still showing?
No, I did.
Okay, you did. So if you were one of the characters, who would you be? I said don't think about it so much.
No, I know. But I have a strange relationship with Black Panther, so it's probably not the... I would... who would I be?
Please don't tell me you're Black Panther, please.
No, I wouldn't. His sister.
Yeah, the techie girl.
Yeah, I've forgotten her name though.
Yeah, her name's left my mind.
Yeah.
So is that who you would be?
I would be the male version of that. But
the male version of her. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Why? Just because of your involvement with tech, or?
No. She was pretty much the smartest person throughout the whole thread.
Well, fair.
Yeah,
she kind of held it all together, though.
Without her, King T'Challa wouldn't have had his suit.
True. True. On that note, thank you so much for coming here today. Tolu, I'm really, really inspired by you. I've told you this before, and you said you don't handle compliments very well, but that's it's really lovely to have you here. We will invite you back again. I hope you'll oblige, and I hope you make it easier to get you here next time. And on that note, guys, it's the end of another episode of Young and Black in Britain. I will see you soon.